That comes across so loud.
Oh, yeah.
Just in case you were asleep, this meeting's been recorded. Wake up. No, just
Sorry.
joking.
Welcome, everyone. Thanks for coming tonight to learn about essential oils. So we've just been given some new material, essential oils made simple. So we're just going to go through the top 10, why essential oils, how to use them, and just a little background and have a bit of a conversation about it too. So I'm just going to share my screen. There it is. Is that? Can you guys see that?
Yeah, I can see that.
Can you see my notes though? The next slide, or just the one?
I think it's just the one.
You can't see the next. Can you just see essential oils made easy? Is that what you can see?
No, I can see your next
No,
Okay, hang on. I do this every time. I share the wrong screen. I've got two screens. Okay, I'll share. Okay. Oh my word. Technology. Sorry, guys.
Hey, I was just going to say, you're doing better than me. I'd be like, sorry, peeps, we don't have a screen share.
Okay, right. You can see that now? Essential oils made easy.
Mm-hmm.
All right, sweet. Okay, so we'll get started. So what are essential oils? So they are pure plant extract. Sorry, they're pure plant extracts from plants. So they're 50 to 70 times more powerful than the herb itself, which is pretty strong when you think about it. So the nature's defense mechanism for plants and cells. So they've been used, like we're basically going back to our roots, like what we used to use back in our grandparents' day, before modern medicine, and it's been used throughout the history for health benefits. So they're really highly concentrated. So 1 drop of peppermint oil is equal to 28 cups of peppermint tea. So that's a lot of peppermint tea. I'm having a peppermint tea right now. I put a drop of peppermint in here actually, because I find it not strong enough because I'm used to the oil now. I think that's probably why. But they are safe, effective, and affordable as a great alternative to your synthetic remedies. So, yes, they are. Each bottle is very highly concentrated, so that's why you need to know how to use them correctly, because they can be dangerous if we don't use them correctly. We'll dilute them and things like that, and we'll go through that soon. As you can see in this picture here, there's a peppermint leaf, and that's actually been magnified, so you can see these little sacs here, and that's actually where they extract the essential oil from. So plants produce essential oils to protect themselves in the wild, so against like fungus, mold, bacteria, all that kind of thing. And that's why when we get unwell, because we're from nature, it works really well on us too, if we know what we're doing, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So why use essential oils? You can go to the pharmacy and use things, or you can, get things off the shelf. So essentials don't replace traditional medication. So there's obviously a time and place for that. However, they do provide a natural alternative to commonly used medicine. So I always say to people, if you feel like something's coming on, I would always go first protocol, use your oils first. Obviously, if you leave it for too long, then you will need to get medication, like antibiotics, things like that. So being proactive is key, really, when you're using natural things. So they provide us with hundreds of health supporting compounds. So ability to treat the problem versus masking the symptoms. So a lot of stuff we get from pharmaceutical can mask it. So we can feel better instantly. So they have a Panadol and you feel great. Well, not always, but some people get that instant result. Whereas that's just masking it. It's not going to the root cause. So when you use essential oil, it actually goes straight to the cell membrane. So when you use a carrier oil, which we'll talk about soon, is it actually gets straight into the root cause. Whereas when we take a tablet, it just sits on the outside of the cell. So it doesn't actually penetrate straight in, if that makes sense. Someone's just popping in. Sorry, I'll just let her in. So it's a proactive, informed approach to self-care. So no harmful side effects or risks or addiction. So it's safe for the whole family. But we have to dilute differently for different people. Like elderly, obviously they're a bit more sensitive. Same with babies and children. But we give you like a guide on how to dilute for each age group. So why doTERRA essential oils? There's so many on the market. I mean, you can get them from Kmart. But please don't use them because they aren't quality. So they are CPTG, which means they're certified pure tested grade. Each bottle has actually gone through a testing. You can get on the bottom of the bottle, there's actually a number, and you can look up source to you, and it will show you the testing it's gone through. So vigorous testing to make sure there's no pesticides, fillers, synthetics, anything nasty. If there is, we actually ditch the whole batch. So we're really passionate about keeping them unadulterated. And when you smell them, you can smell the difference, right? So they're grown and harvested in their natural habitat. So things like lemon, for example, is from Italy. That's where the plant thrives. It's the best soil. It's the best environment for it to thrive. And so we, I guess, go over and beyond, other places where they'll just source from one area, where we go worldwide. Like we've got Douglas fir right here in New Zealand, and Manuka and Kanuka, which is really, really cool. Like our Douglas fir is from Queenstown. It's actually a pest down there, but actually amazing for our respiratory. So we're not only getting rid of the pests down in Queenstown, we're also using it for our own health and wellness benefits. So it's really cool. So we do in-house and out-house testing. So anyone from our source of doTERRA can come in and check that it's been tested correctly. It's not hidden. So they are effective. So plants produce essentials. I've already kind of said this. Jump the gun. They act as a defense mechanism against fungus, virus, bacteria, and mold. And like I said earlier, that's why it works well on us, because we're nature. That's nature. There's no response. No side effects as such. So they penetrate into the cell membrane. So you can take control of your health naturally. So they are affordable. Like a lot of people will look at the bottle and think, why would I spend like $30 on a bottle of peppermint when I can get it from Health 3000 or something for $20 or $10? It's like, well, do they have the backing of the testing? If it says you can't ingest it, why can't you ingest it? We can eat peppermint, so what's wrong with your oil if you added something to it? If you've obviously that has been adulterated in some way, or they haven't got the science to back it. Yeah, it's in-home self-care. So what I love is that something goes wrong in my family and I can go straight to my oil box. I have an oil to kind of support us without having to go rush to the doctor or the pharmacy or whatever it may be. And especially the oils we're talking about tonight is like our top 10. They're so versatile. Whenever I go away anywhere, that's what I take, my top 10. I take some others, but they are my base. Whenever I don't take them, I need them. So how to use essential oils. So there's 3 different ways we can use them. So orally, so like I said before, I've got my cup of tea here. I've got a peppermint tea, and I've actually put a drop of peppermint in my tea bag. I do it before I put the hot water in, put a little bit cold in the bottom, and then put your hot water, and it just amplifies the peppermint. You can put, one thing I love to do first thing in the morning is some lemon in my water. It's really detoxifying, it's cleansing, it helps cleanse your liver. Just really beautiful. It's fat burning, so we all want some of that, don't we? Just really amazing for our system. So it also nourishes the whole body. So before I do any public speaking, and because I've been doing this for 10 years now, I still get nervous when I present, even though I know all you guys. So I actually put a drop of frankincense under my tongue. It calms my whole nervous system. Also, it does some other things, which is amazing, but it's really good for just regulating our emotions. Mm-hmm. So another thing you can do, like if you're making a peppermint slice and it says you need peppermint essence, we could use our peppermint essential oil in like cooking and baking, and but you wouldn't use a teaspoon. If it says a teaspoon for the recipe, do not do that. You'll ruin your dish. Just use like a couple of drops. Another way to use our oils is topically. So we can use them on our skin. So it's really, really powerful. 1 drop is going to service our whole body. So when you look at a bottle of oil, there's 250 drops in here, right? So if 1 drop's going to service my whole body, that's 250 services. Servicing, there's even a word. So a little goes a long way. You can see how it will last so long. Mm-hmm. So it's fast acting when applied to your area. So say you've got a sore shoulder, so it's going to penetrate straight there within 30 seconds. So we always dilute with the coconut oil, fractionated coconut oil. Now, the reason we use fractionated coconut oil is it's had the fatty chains removed, so it stays liquid form. So we can use it to make a blend. So we can put a drop of oil in our hand, some fractionated coconut oil, and we can rub it into the area. If we just put oil straight onto our skin, one, our skin can be very sensitive, and it just evaporates. So things like oregano is a hot oil, you would never do that because you'll burn your skin. Whereas lavender, you can probably get away with, but it's actually not going to penetrate straight into your cell membrane. So by adding the fractionated coconut oil, it actually helps it go straight into your bloodstream and into your cells, if that makes sense. So it's not only protecting your skin, it's actually helping it absorb in. Otherwise, it just evaporates. So another way to use your oils is aromatically. So that's like diffusing. I've got a diffuser on just here, you can't see it, but this is, you put cold water in it, and then you just put whatever oils you want, and it just sends aromatic compounds into the air, and it just helps set the tone. So whether in the morning it might be like to uplift your mood, during the day maybe you're a bit stressed, so you can put some oils to calm you down, and at night obviously it's sort of sleep oil. So you can use it to really set the tone for the day or night. Or if you've had sickness in the house, it kills the airborne, so certain oils do, which is really cool. Or it can support your respiratory function. So another way, like aromatically, isn't just diffusing, it's literally just smelling straight from the bottle. So you can just have a sniff, you're still gonna get the impact from it. Or if you want, you can put a drop in your hand, rub your hands together and inhale. I think sometimes as mothers especially, we forget to stop and breathe. So actually stopping and grabbing an essential oil of choice and breathing 3 times can actually just help calm us down and actually bring us back to normal breathing, because we can do short breaths, especially if you're rushing around doing stuff. So it's really important if you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed or life's a bit crazy, just stop for a couple minutes, not even that, 30 seconds, and just do that, and it can change your whole day. Any questions so far, or is everyone okay? Comments, anything? You're good? Cool. So live a wellness lifestyle. So doTERRA offers products that fit into every pillar of well-being, from daily nutrition to metabolic health to managing stress and reducing toxic load. So that's all informed self-care. So, what are 3 health needs and challenges you have for your family? So, as we go through, you can maybe have a wee think about what they are, and then if you feel comfortable, you can share it throughout. And I can sort of guide you in the right direction of what kind of things would help with that. So as you can see here, we've got nutrition and digestion, movement and metabolism, rest, relaxation, and reduced toxic load. So that's all lifestyle. And then we've got our wellness. So it's informed self-care and proactive wellness. So this is sort of doing things now to prevent things from happening later. Like, we live in a world where we wait for things to go wrong before we do anything about it. But why not be well now? Why not be thriving as we are now, and avoid the aches and pains and avoid being old and crippled? You know what I mean? I think if we can look after ourselves now, for our future self is going to make a huge difference. So these are our top 10 essential oils. So every home, hand on heart, believe this. I remember when I first saw oils for the first time, I was like, oh, I'm not going to use that. I won't use that one, and that one will just sit there. Yes, there's some that we'll use more than others, right? So obviously if you're not getting sick all the time, or you don't have verrucas or warts or things like that, you're not going to use oregano often. Or maybe you don't but do you make bolognese? Do you have oregano spice or herb? If you don't have that, you can use oregano. So it's about having tools at home that's going to support you and your family. So we'll start with lavender. Now lavender is renowned for the sleep oil, right? Which is great for sleep for some people, but actually some people, like my son, he's hypersensitive, so it does the opposite. It makes him a bit cray-cray. But if I mix it with frankincense and maybe a little bit of wild orange, it does work for him for sleep. So it's about finding the right combinations. Lavender can be, like I said, if you're hypersensitive, it can do the opposite. So it's not always, because someone might use lavender and go, oh, it didn't work for me. Oils don't work. They've ruled them all out. It's not all oils. It just might be that particular one. So it's find the right one that fits you. So lavender is like your Swiss Army knife. So I call it like it helps for soothing skin irritation, for burns, for if you've been stung by a bee. It's really good for stress, and actually it's really amazing for headaches. Because quite often we think headaches, we need something like peppermint or ice blue or something like that's kind of strong. But lavender, quite often our headaches are from stress. So we're tight and we're like, our shoulders are all like this. So lavender helps relax you. So that's really good use for that one. Then we've got lemon, which is kind of briefly touched on that. That enhances your immune system. So really good for our digestive system, great for kickstarting your digestive system in the morning. Like I said earlier, I start my day every morning with a warm lemon water. Our lemon's from the peel of the lemon, not the flesh. So the peel of the lemon is where all the nutrients is. And it's really amazing for avoiding things like UTIs and things like that, because quite often we get them because it just helps cleanse your tract, if that makes sense. The lemon's great for cleaning. Like it was the best glass cleaner I've ever used. And it gets rid of all those the streaks. And also if you've been cooking and you've had fat on your, like maybe you're frying something and you get the fat spills all over your stove top, it just gets rid of that grime. It lifts all that as well. And then we've got peppermint, which is really good for uplifting your mood. It's like I use this as my pre-trainer before I go to the gym. If I'm feeling a little bit flat, I need a bit of a pick-me-up in the afternoon, I'll get a drop of peppermint and I will, like literally when I have peppermint, I'll do it now. You guys would have seen a dough bong before, but it's one of my favorite things to do. So a dough bong is when you put a drop in your hand and you can just inhale through your nose, or you can make a little tunnel and do it through your mouth. And literally, it like awakens you. I know that sounds a bit, I have to over extenuate because you can't see. You can't have the experience, so you can just be like, this is what it's like. It's like you're going from here to I'm awake. So really good at opening up your airways and just helping you to breathe better. If you're feeling tight in your chest, it just opens you right up. Like I said, 1 drop's 28 cups peppermint tea, so it's very strong. So like whenever I use this, I have people around me going, what does that smell? Someone got gum? It's really strong. So it's like you end up being like a walking diffuser. Those 3 together, peppermint, lemon, lavender, is like your nature's antihistamine. So if I have a bit of hay fever, I'll use these 3. So you can actually ingest them all if you want to, put a drop of each in a shot glass, or you can make it up in a roller. This is one of the things that actually made me believe oils were real. Not real, that they worked. I heard all these stories, but until you experience yourself and understand it, it's hard to believe, right? Because I can sit here and tell you all these awesome things, but until you've actually smelt it yourself or had that experience. And then when I first started, I had little babies and I wasn't allowed to take antihistamines because I was breastfeeding. So when someone told me that, that was just a game changer. And I had so many women come to me just for that because they knew that it worked. And how awful does it feel when you've got hay fever? You just can't breathe, you just feel gross. So we've got tea tree, which is great for your immune system, great for skin irritations. It's also great for your respiratory as well. And then you've got your oregano, great. This is like your big guns. So if you're coming down with something or you feel like you've got a bit of a flu or cold, I would get your oregano out and get that on you ASAP. Obviously, always dilute it, but amazing at nipping things in the bud before they come to anything. So they call it nature's antibiotic, oregano. So one definitely to have in your toolkit. We've got frankincense. So this is an antioxidant. It also relieves mild anxiety and stress. This is one that I use on a daily basis. I use most of these daily. Frankincense is like the king of all oils. So if in doubt, I say get Frankie out. Sounds cheesy, but it's true. So great for sleep, great for your skin, like fine lines, wrinkles, imperfections. I use it in skincare I make. I literally feel like my face goes it just feels tighter after I've added it to my skincare regime. But yeah, it amplifies other oils. So when you mix frankincense with any other blends, it just takes it to the next level, which is really cool. But that's one. I think if I had to choose one oil when I was stranded on a desert island, well, that doesn't make sense. A desert island, there's no island in a desert. Anyway, if I was stranded, that would be the oil I'd take. Because
I know what you mean.
You know what I mean? Desert
Like,
island.
we know what you mean. You're on an island all by
Yeah.
yourself.
Everyone's stranded somewhere. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And then you got easier. This was another game changer one for me. The one that made me, like, my husband is a snorer, and it actually gives me a fright sometimes. Love him, but sometimes it's so loud. So when I found out Easy is really good for snoring, I was like, I'm never going to run out of that. So we'll rub that on his chest with a bit of carrier oil. We'll have it diffusing, and I do have a spray to spray him. So all covered. So really good for opening your airways up. Great for people that have ongoing respiratory issues, people that are asthmatic. Obviously, you don't replace your inhaler, but it's a great alternative to have. And I've had people that don't use them anymore because of that, and they just mix easier and your frankincense together. Digestin, they've just changed the name. That was the first oil I actually did use on Zana when she was 6 weeks old. She had upset tummy. She was constipated. I tried everything, and then I had just got my oils. So I was like, I did read somewhere that this works quite well. So after applying just 1 drop of Digestin to like 10 mils of coconut oil, so I didn't put the whole thing on her. I just made it up in a wee dish. That's how diluted you do it for a baby. So you'll get 250 roller bottles for a baby of that, which is pretty cool when you think about it. And within 30 seconds, she felt nappy. So that's what made me think, okay, maybe these oils do work. Because I was a bit of a skeptic, like a lot of people are when they first hear about these oils. But myself, if I had something that upset my tummy, I'd use that, and it just used to soothe it so well. So it's one that should always be on the Christmas table every year, because everyone overeats on Christmas Day, right? Or Easter. Yeah. Easter's coming up, so, you know. So great for anything to do with tummy issues or nausea. So it would have been amazing if I had that when I was pregnant, but I didn't have it then. Ice Blue. Now, Ice Blue is our tension. So this is really good for athletic bend, So it's really good for any mild aches and pains, inflammation. If you've got ongoing tight muscles, like people that are quite arthritic find this really amazing and supportive for them. It's like nature's version of deep heat without all the chemicals. So we've got the nature's version of it. So I use this most days before I go to the gym and after for recovery. If I'm going out in the garden, I know I'm going to be sore back or knees or something, I will apply the Ice Blue first before I go into the garden. It just helps with recovery as well, and it kind of warms up your joints and your muscles and things like that. So I've kind of just touched briefly on what these oils do. There's over 100 uses. So this gives you a bit of an overview of some of the things they can do. But yeah, they're pretty amazing. Any questions on the top 10 oils? Everyone okay? Cool. Okay, so there is. Are you coming into the waiting room again? Why? Oh, she's sorry. I just see Kiana's coming back in. Maybe she's got kicked out. She's in there twice. I'm not sure what's happening there. Okay, so there's 3 ways to get started with essential oils. So the first way is retail, which is paying full price and you get no extra perks. So that no one really does that. Like it's sort of a bit of a waste of time. Or you can go wholesale, which is you can join for free at a $40 value, and you can get wholesale prices for up to a year at 25% off the product. So any of our products for a whole year, you get access to VIP education, community support and education, and you get me as ongoing support as well. Or there's the third one is wholesale plus points, which means you get all the benefits of the wholesale, but you can earn points and get free products, get free shipping if your order's over 100 PV. Now PV is point value. We can talk about that later because I know your brains might be a little bit fried with all the information. So if you refer a friend and share, you can actually earn some of your product for free. There's also the option to build a business. I think it's always good to let you know those options, because let's be honest, everything's so expensive out there right now, and we could all do with earning a bit more money, couldn't we? Especially if we love oils and want all these products, it can help subsidize that as well, and some. So if you want to know more about that, you can just reach out and we can chat further on that. Here are some of our options of starter pack. So the most popular kit that most people get is this one here, the Home Essentials kit. So this one here comes with the top 10 we've just talked about and a 15 ml. So you get 250 drops in a bottle. and you come with a diffuser, and that's $435. A lot of people want to go all in and want to get the household kit, which gives you obviously the box and a few other, there's a cream there which is great for cuts and scrapes and things like that. There's some skin oils, some hormone balancing oils in there, some more sleep oils and calming oils. And that one there is obviously $8.18, so it's a bit more of an investment, but some people just want all the things, so that's another popular one. Or there might be one over here which is just 5 of our top 10, which is your lavender, lemon, on guard, tea tree, and peppermint, and you get the diffuser, and that's $210. So all of these all come with free shipping as well, and access 25% off for a whole year. And these are just an option of, if you do decide to buy on a monthly basis, which is an option, you can gradually get the top 10 oils if the budget doesn't allow you to get this one, if that makes sense. So you can kind of break it down. If none of these kits are really what you wanted, you can just make your own kit, as long as it equals 100 PV. But we can chat about that if there's certain things you want to create your own, if that makes sense. So this is a little bit about our Loyalty Rewards program. Some people look at this and go, oh my gosh, that's a bit overwhelming, but it's okay, you don't need to remember everything. All you need to know is that if you do decide to start today and your order is 100 PV, and then next month you might do another 100 PV order. If you do that in 3 months, then you'll get 10% back on these 2 orders. And then on your 3rd month, you'll get 30% off, and you'll stay there forever. So by your 3rd month, you can drop it down to 50 PV if you want to. Now this, because doTERRA aren't just essential oils, we have supplements, we've got skincare, hair care, cleaning products, things that you would be buying from the supermarket anyway. So it's replacing, it's not about spending more and putting yourself into debt. It's about replacing your shop with shopping somewhere else rather than your big supermarkets that actually don't reward you that well. Like, for example, when you go to the supermarket, I think Woolies, you spend $2,000 to get a $10 voucher. Like, that's a lot of money. Whereas if you spent $60 with doTERRA on our Loyalty Rewards program, $60, you'll get $10. So that's quite a big difference, right? So that's 30 times better value and rewards. So when you know it's clean products, none of our products have got additives or fillers or anything like in it. It's all pure, and you know that you're safe. If you want to do it the longer way, which is the original way, is you can just do a 50 PV order each month, and then takes you about 13 months to get to 30%, if that makes sense. We can explain a bit more about on this if you want to know anyway, but that's how our Loyalty Rewards program works. When I first started, it was just oils. So now that we have, your cleaning products and your skincare and hair care, all that kind of stuff that I would have been buying elsewhere. So yeah, that is the end. I'll just go, that's the end. I'll just stop my screen share. And I'm just going to stop the recording.